Hey everyone, this is our temperature alarm controller and data logger, TCAD controller, an acronym, controller alarm data logger. And I'm just going to take you through some of the basic overview. There's another video for more detailed kind of setup instructions. But basically it's controlling the temperature. This one's hooked to a solenoid valve. So you're going to hear it snap on and off, and but also we could have it an option to connect it to a DIN connector like this if you want your own solenoid valve. So here's the thermocouple probe covered in a Teflon sleeve. You can just make out the end of the Teflon jacket there, and so I'm going to just warm it up. You can see right now it's indicating that it's on the module there. It says output. When this gets to 75, it's going to I'm going to warm it up another way. When it gets to 75, it's going to shut off, and you'll hear the solenoid valve snap off, which is pretty basic stuff. Okay, you didn't hear it come off because it's when it comes on, it will snap with a loud bang. This is set for a temperature alarm of 80 degrees, and I took it right up to 80. So there's the alarm that you get. I'm going to just push the silence button, and when it comes back into range, it will alert the operator with a short chirp, and that will alarm again every 60 minutes. It will give you another alarm. That's a settable parameter that you can choose to not have it alarm again, but I think it's a useful feature. So that's the controller part of it. Basically, I've set the controls to 80 degrees high, 60 the low, so there's back in range, and there's the to alert the operator, which can save time if the operators are waiting for a tank to come back into range. So there's a few parameters to set, actually only 4 parameters that are set right with these dip switches right here, and the snooze alarm is the top one, and then there's a relay in addition to the relay that controls the solenoid valve here. There's another one that goes to a building alarm, so that's these terminals here, and you can take it out through this cord grip to either a PLC or a building alarm system or whatever else you might want to do with it. And there's an additional alarm that comes directly from the temperature control module if you want maybe a delayed alarm or a different delay or something. Anyway, I'll take you through some of the features inside. This is the clock, and this can be corrected just with these buttons here. And what this is doing is it's recording data all the time. So you can read the data with a flash drive. I'll just demonstrate that now. Every 2 minutes it takes a temperature reading, and so now we're extracting the data with a flash drive, and now it's ready to pull out, and I'll just put it into a computer. All right, so there's our data that we've extracted, and it gives you the date, time, the system status, okay or not. I'll explain that in a second. There's a liquid level on this, an option that's not on this unit, whether the sensor is okay or not. Then there's the set value, and then the actual recorded value of the temperature, and if there's an alarm condition at the moment or not. So that's the flash drive. I'll just show you this quickly. If the flash drive is not reading properly, then you get an immediate fault. So you notice that there's a battery pack in this too, so that if the power becomes unplugged, let's just do that now. There's a fault given here. It says system fault. The beeps, of course, will silence it for an hour, and it's running off of battery right now, and it's continuing to record data. There are some power limitations. You can't extract data right now, and it's not controlling the relay output, but it is recording, and if nobody acknowledges it after an hour, then the display will shut off. But since I've just silenced it, it will continue to it'll continue to run the display and record data for as long as the battery lasts, which is about 1 day. which should be more than enough since most power failures only last for a few minutes or a couple hours at most. And if you want to save the battery, just putting it into idle mode will disable the display after an hour. And what this idle mode does, it's a convenient way to shut down the tank over the weekends or holidays. It basically just with one button, of course it shuts down the heating of the tank, but it also disables the buzzer so that you know that the temperature is going to fall. Without heat, the temperature is going to fall out of range, and it just gives you a quick chirp instead of alarming all the time, which will annoy janitors or whoever's at the plant on the weekends. When you want to heat it up again, you just simply press the active button, and you heard the solenoid valve click on there, and then it won't alarm immediately because it knows the temperature is too low. What'll happen is when it gets into range, then it'll give you a chirp again. It chirps all for many reasons. It'll give you a chirp to let the operator know, hey, it's ready to, the tank's ready to run, and the green stack light illuminates, and then if it falls out of range at that time, then it will alarm if it strays out of the proper range, which by the way is set here. This is basically here's your the temperature set point is now 75, so we can just set that to I don't know if we could go set it to 77, and that's all there is to that. So now it's 77. There are basically a couple of ways you can produce alarms. There's the upper and lower set point, basically just two goal posts, and if the alarm strays outside of that when it's in active mode, then you'll get an alarm. And then there's deviation alarms that basically just give you a number of degrees higher or lower than the set point. Those are available as well, so you can have a flexible alarm that goes up and down with the set point. And this set point can be locked out from the controller. This is a very sophisticated controller, and it's capable of many things like ramping and all kinds of stuff. It accepts any kind of thermocouple that you can think of, and there's a detailed instruction sheet on that on our website. But we're just using it in on-off control mode, and which is fine for most tanks of liquid chemicals. Now I'll talk about the liquid level control. I've hooked up an optional float switch probe, and the way we like to do it is to enclose the float switches inside of this guard, so that way nothing can damage the floats or obstruct them. And when the liquid level drops, basically it's going to produce an alarm after a short delay to damp out turbulence. That will sound again in 60 minutes if it's set that way inside of the control box. And if the lower float drops, then it will also shut off the heater. And let's see, right now we can see by the relay it's indicating that it is heating. If we shut the lower float switch off, now it's not heating. And if we turn it back on, it's heating again. So and now the upper float switch back in position where it should be, and the liquid level alarm goes off. So that is the TCAD-2 temperature controller overview.